if you find out that this system that you in don't belong to you, you just here surviving it, like the rest of us who woke the fuck up, who found out we got put down here to be inside of this prison, and you had conversations about aliens and motherfucking magic and shit, and the people around you that, inspire these type of topics, or that you just happen to just want to talk about it on your own terms, and they don't believe in that shit. They either protecting it as a secret, or they truly dumb. They just the NPC type, the organic prototype, the hybrids, the demons, so forth and so on. Because there ain't no way you can not be connected to spirit and it give you downloads and shit and let you know these things. You have to be like an NPC that's a part of this matrix that came equipped with it, like an Agent Smith type shit. Because before this motherfucking matrix got put here, motherfuckers was living in harmony and living organically. And then that's when the aliens showed up and they used the magic of this realm. That's why there's so many books and stuff, or fairy tales that we all been shown and told, of dragons, fairies, pixies, unicorns, magicians, wizards, so forth and so on, because this place is a magical realm. But once they put that matrix on top, not only did they cut it off, that's why we got all these different little people trying to figure out what's beyond the ice wall and whatnot, because we're quarantined. Really, they trying to figure out what they already know. They just don't want to just say it, because they just don't want to get in tune with it. You already know what you're going to find. You're going to find giants. You're going to find all these different things. We've been cut off, because if we was to be able to get back in tune with that shit, we'll be able to know everything just like these motherfuckers know everything. I mean, really think about it. You got to go to school for what? An animal don't got to go to school. They're born and they automatically do what they programmed to do on the land. Can you imagine an animal being born and you got to teach it how to do whatever it do? Teach it how to meow, teach it how to bark, teach it how to fucking walk, hunt, teach it how to smell and see. These motherfuckers just know how to do that shit. So with that same philosophy, it's obvious that when a baby is born and it be trying to talk, it be doing that gibberish shit, that's obviously our native tongue when we was speaking. All that goo goo gaga type shit, that is our native tongue right there. But, we get programmed with a language like English, Spanish, French, German, and all those different ones. And we are so intelligent when we born that we have the ability to just pick up on that language and start to speak it. Even though we so intelligent during them ages that we can learn almost anything else. But everything else that can be learned is suppressed from us on purpose, so we don't be to our full potential. On top of, we get injected with the serums and stuff that they say is for our health, so we can go to school and be around the other slaves and shit. But at the end of the day, when you have these conversations and shit about these topics, anyone who's around you that refuses to acknowledge it, at least, even if they not wholeheartedly believing it, you can assume they're an NPC, an agent of some type or whatnot, and they gaslight you. And if you wanted to take it a step further, you can be like, well, shit, have you ever seen a human go inside of the woods, sit on his ass with a stick and a stone, and build a motherboard, make plastic, create a factory? They won't be able to answer you. And if they do, they're going to come up with like a funny type answer like that Degrassi dude be doing. He just be bullshitting and yammering on like the rest of them be doing. When the real answer is no, you have not seen it. No, you will not see it. Hell, the motherfucker in trouble if they lose their key to the front door. If they lose their key to the car, they can't even get in. So no. They made all this shit for us. These alien motherfuckers made it all for us. Does that mean that we couldn't make it? Hell no, that don't mean that. But if we created it, we would automatically understand it, just like animals understand nature. So that means that shit is not natural to us. Because, back in the day, they had these stories about the Anunnaki messing with our motherfucking genetics and shit. So if they messed with the genetics of the planet by covering up the magic and putting the motherfucking matrix over top of it, of course they tamper with us and shut us off. They shut Mother Nature off and shut us off. Because I already talked about this shit before, but let's be honest. This motherfucking planet is really tropical. And the coldness is only supposed to exist at the poles. But they made it to where, they can bring the coldness towards us during certain seasons and shit. So when you say they messing with the weather and shit, they was messing with the weather ever since they created seasons. And they created time and different things like that. All that shit right there is manufactured. They use it with the CERN, they use it with the 5G, they use it with the nuclear power plants, all that shit. You gotta ask yourself, what the fuck is a nuclear power plant for? Why they got them shits in every fucking city, every fucking state, all across the world? I've seen them motherfuckers make particle clouds and mess with the weather and shit. One time I was going somewhere and the sun was out, and then I went close to the nuclear plant and shit, which you gotta get clearance in, and some of them have motherfucking military people out guarding it. Like, what the fuck they got military people guarding it for? But anyway, I seen this motherfucking stuff going in the air. It looked like particles, and all around where the motherfucking nuclear plant was at, the motherfucking weather was changing, looking like it was about to turn dark outside and rain and shit. But everywhere else, the sun was out. So, yes, aliens would be the type of motherfuckers that would enslave us and use us for energy. We wouldn't do that shit to ourselves. We wouldn't even think like that. Imagine other animals enslaving other animals that's of the same animal. Meaning like the cheetahs trying to enslave the cheetahs. No, they don't do that. They run in packs. They hunt. They get along with each other. Only thing they do is fight over something if they have to. Basically a food source. But even then, that ain't really happening too much because they stick together. And that's just how the animal kingdom do. So really an animal would be against other animals. You get what I'm trying to say? A different species would be going against a different species. So the motherfuckers at the top by default is alien, right? And this motherfucking planet is magic, because if it wasn't, if you look around you, all these different little miraculous things that we use on a daily basis that we take for granted is being superior objects. We just write them off as the things that we use in society to live. But no, a fucking refrigerator is amazing. A fucking blender, a microwave, all that type of shit. Counters, motherfucking floors and walls, and all that shit. Even though this motherfucker is a simulation and an illusion that we call a matrix and shit. Even though it's all of that, the part that got turned into the matrix makes it a simulation. But outside of that projection, if the matrix was to be removed, the quarantine would be lifted. And everything on this planet would return back to its normal frequency or octave or channel that it belongs on. Right now we at a very low state. And I was talking about the red earlier, and you notice how they always associate red with the lower chakra. And then I made that reference to being on the download type shit. And then when you see the blood moon, it comes down to the earth and turn red. See what I'm saying? So, everything is out there. You just got to break the code in the matrix. Some people, they have this awakening inside of them, but they just never had the right circumstances or situations to wake it up out of them. I got mine from just being great and not knowing I'm being great. You know what I'm saying? All during like middle school, high school and shit. You know what I'm saying? I just knew how to survive and make shit and sell stuff. Doing things that I thought everybody else was doing, but apparently they wasn't. And the tall lab coat wearing motherfuckers. They call the watchers and shit. These motherfuckers, man, they responsible for giving your booster shots so they can continue to keep that shit suppressed. Just like how today when you get sick, they no longer even helping you out in the hospitals no more, because that shit was all rigged as well. They giving you steroids, and steroids, what they do is they block your histamine. And what does that mean? Your histamine is really your body saying, oh shit, there's something going on inside of me. I'm about to give you a warning sign. It's like your check engine light to your body. I'm going to give you a warning sign. I'm going to give you a pimple. I'm going to give you a rash. I'm going to give you some type of symptom, so then you can take care of this shit, okay? Steroids, they put them shits inside your body, so then your body don't do none of that shit. That's why people who go to get those, they appear healthy after they get it, right? And then when it wear off and it no longer is working, everything that they had that got swept under the rug, it come rushing back, and it comes back even worse than it did before. So yeah, a steroid is a very dangerous thing, and that's the same thing as what's going on with people's perceptions and abilities to see things out here, and say things for how they is. Cause somebody gaslighting you and shit, saying they don't believe in the aliens and motherfucking magic. Ask that question: have you ever seen a motherfucker sit on his ass in the motherfucking woods and create any of this shit? They gonna come up with all these Neil deGrasse type answers and shit, or ask Google type answers, but they ain't gonna say no, because no, you have not. And why is this topic even being brought up? A lot of people don't talk about this topic, man, and I think that's why they always was shutting down my motherfucking channel, man, because I get into it. I really talk about the shit that need to be really focused on. Yes, this plays magic. There's a motherfucking cartoon movie that came out in the 1970s called Wizards. It can be found on YouTube. Get that movie a look, see, and it kind of like talks about the history, and then it like gets rid of it. But anyway, it's a wizard on there named Avatar, I think. So Avatar is basically what these bodies are that we are living in. They're avatars. And whenever we wanted to come out of the spiritual realm to experience the physical realm, we decided to go inside of these avatars to experience the physical realm. So when we died, it wasn't a bad thing like it is now, because we cut off. We don't know anything. We cut off. So we think dying is bad, because that's what we've been programmed to think. Because as soon as you die, an NPC be crying like, oh. But in reality, they comfort, or they what they used to has been ripped away from them and shit. But even the Egyptians was talking about, you gotta prepare for death so you can go back to where you came from. And they was always trying to preserve their avatars. See what I'm saying? So they could be able to come back to those same particular ones if they wanted to. So this place is a place you're supposed to pop in and out of. But instead, once the Dracos came here and put a motherfucking matrix over top of this bitch, they turned it into an energy prison where they loose grab your ass all day long. You get in a car accident out of the clear blue sky, like somebody put some witchcraft on you or shot a satellite signal to create that to happen. Boom. Now you just got yourself in a whole little situation that's very stressful. Loose grab. You get hooked up with a bitch, you's a good motherfucker dude. You get hooked up with a nigga, you's a good motherfucking woman. And they always turn out to be a narcissist or some shit to use your ass. Loose grab. The whole time. It's a very long loose grab. And don't have kids with them, or you really fucked. Don't get married. Now you triple, double fucked. See, what you supposed to really do when you come here is stay a virgin, don't have sex, don't get married, don't have kids, don't do drugs, eat healthy, and learn everything that you can possibly learn about spirituality. Learn the streets and learn the difference between all those two and, the indoctrination that they give us. And you're supposed to battle the motherfucking gang stalking that will happen to you. But every time we come here, we don't remember to do that. And we get caught up every single time. That's how you beat the Matrix for real. A lot of people ain't gonna say that, but that's the truth. That's why when you go to school, or you just be out in the world in general, these motherfucking NPCs always wonder if you a virgin or not. Like, you ought to give a fuck about that shit, because they trying to, sway your ass into giving up your V card. So then you lose that part of the game of the Matrix. Then, everybody, push on TV and around you, your family, friends, whatever, get with a girl. You lost the V card, you got with a girl, and eventually they gonna get your ass to have a kid with her, or she is anyway. Don't pull it out. Boom, now you got a kid. Now you just brought another motherfucker here to deal with this slavery system, this beast system, so they can be a part of the loose grab like you, and you ain't really got a plan for them. And then if they have a soul like you, they gonna be out here going through the same shit you went through, no matter what route they choose. That's alternative to help them survive and shit like that. So yeah, aliens do run the show. Everybody always knew this. They just don't want to admit it. And yes, spirituality is real. When it comes to the gang stalking and shit for the chosen ones, gang stalking is not just motherfucking technology, it's spiritual. Above all else, everything is spiritual. And the spiritual appears in the physical realm as magic on the physical side. Okay? And the magic is then converted into technology and other physical means. That's how I go. Because everything's magic. But really, magic is not like a mysterious thing. It's just the consciousness experiencing itself in real time. That's all it is, in physical real time. Because when you go inside your mind, your imagination, see how you see the word magic inside of imagination? That's all it is. It's experiencing itself in the physical. So yeah, we had all types of abilities and things we could do back in the days before that motherfucker got put over this place and trapped us in, put us in civilizations, and made us go to work for 4, 8, 16, 12 hours and 10 and all that type of shit, because they charging you for your energy. And if you don't want to get charged for your energy that way, they throw you in a cell in prison, right, to dim your light. Even though they call it prison, it's a prism as well, like the PRIZM. So it defragments your light. That's why it's dark in there, like figuratively and literally, it's dark in there. The people is dark spirited, and the energy dark to dim your light and all that shit. And they charge you, and then throw you in a cell. Hear that battery talk? So, you know what I'm saying? Even if, you protect yourself against the evil, you can catch assault and battery. Like, what the fuck? Like, this shit ain't no made up stuff right here. It's just the codes of the Matrix. You just gotta know how to crack them shits. So anyway, you know what I'm saying? That's just another quick little message right there. I'm about to slide up off here.